How's it going, everybody? It's morning. Probably not going to be a super busy stream today, but that's okay. I'm here today because yesterday I spent the better part of my day working on guitars, as I do every Saturday. Every Saturday I kind of get this in the wintertime, mostly. Not in the summertime. The summertime I spend my entire Saturday on a disc golf course. Every single Saturday. Not my entire Saturday, but at least a few hours of it. But in the wintertime, it's a different story. And outside right now, like last night, we got like another 6-7 inches of snow or something like that. So what did I do yesterday? I decided, because I watched this awesome Andrew Baina video. How's it going, Pedro? I watched this awesome Andrew Baina video where he made a sleeper Strat. And a sleeper Strat, if you don't know what that means, it's like it's an homage to sleeper cars. And I lost a pick this week, and I don't know where the fuck it is, and it's driving me bananas. Because it's actually one I was using and enjoying. I have so many different picks. So I'm never dependent on one style of pick. I have lots of different styles of picks I like to use. You guys should do the same. Bill Myers, how are you? Nice to see you. And we're chilling today. This is my sleeper Strat. And this is just your average Strat, basically along the lines of a made in Mexico. This is the lowest line of American-made Stratocasters, and I've done some modifications. I changed the tuners to this nice. They had a sale on these Fender tuners with these lovely pegs ages ago, so I bought them. They were on sale. It was like $60 or something. I was like, yeah, I'll take those. They fit perfectly. They make this look like a dad guitar deluxe. And again, it's a very simple looking guitar. It looks like it could belong to a kid that plays pop punk. It looks like it could belong to a dad that plays in a Rat cover band on weekends. It looks like it belongs to the guy that plays guitar on stage at the church on Sundays. And it also looks like it could belong to the kid that's idolizes Stevie Ray Vaughan, but you know, all he's got is a humbucker, you know. And this looks like your average Joe guitar. Am I right? HW1? What do you mean? How's it going, Mesa? How's everybody doing today? 4 people. That's cool. I appreciate everybody for dropping in. Yeah, my name is Tyler. Welcome to the AmSim show. So if you've seen the video I'm talking about, Andrew Baina goes and takes your average ass dad Strat, and he goes one step further in making it look even more dad-like. He keeps the 2 single coils that are just sort of there for absolutely no reason, maybe not even hooked up. They're just lowered and they're just there for, you know, vision. I just can't do that. I can't stand the look of a humbucker with 2 single coils. It's just a thing with me, guys. I've got a lot of these little pet peeves in the world of guitar, and that's one of them. I do love the look of a single humbucker and a single coil up here, and I'm looking maybe to get something like that. I'm thinking about getting a pickguard like that because I have a Paul Gilbert injector that would pair nicely here, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. So what Andrew Baina did is he took that average ass Fender, but he dropped his to like baritone low. I didn't want to go buy a new neck, a 27.5 or anything like that. I did look into it for fun, and they're actually not that pricey. It's like $229.99 or something. You can get a made in Mexico Fender and baritone neck, which is kind of interesting. But I'm only going to tune this to, this is in B flat today, and that's how low we're going to go. So I'm going to tune up as we go. What are you guys up to this weekend? How's your weekend going at this point? I also have to go today and finally buy myself a new clip tuner, because this one is at this point sabotaging my life. Everything is G. Everything is a fucking G or a G sharp. Everything, it's like, no, it's G. I'm like, it's E flat. No, it's G. Oh, this is annoying. So yeah, I'm going to buy, if I don't come home with a new tuner today, I'm going to be streaming this afternoon as well, guys, because no football. I will be streaming this afternoon. We've got some fun stuff planned. So do join us. This is a morning stream. I'm going to go to the music store, grab a couple things, and do an afternoon stream probably. That should be fun. So if you guys are going to be around today, join me on your Sundays. Last night I watched the Royal Rumble. We watched the Royal Rumble. That was a lot of fun. So we're going to get started today with Fort and Nameless. And I've also got the HK Pure Tone from Nimbrini Audio. I've got 3 amp knobs from the fucking knobs from Bogren Digital. And that's pretty much all we're gonna deal with right now. We've also got Tone Sweet Distant as by popular demand. That will make an appearance today. So we're just gonna chill out today, and I'm gonna get a tone going here with the Sleeper Strat, and we're gonna just have some fun, get some tones going, talk tone, and see what happens. So what I want to do and what I will be doing is I'm going to be getting an Aurora Tone Leviathan blood splattered. You might be thinking, is blood splattered really making it a sleeper guitar? Not really. It's not really a sleeper. People know. Is that a blood splattered? Is that a blood splatter? Well, you know what? Okay, what would you guys say? Help me pick the future look of this guitar. Do I want to go and get a plain white pickguard with this layout and splatter it with red dye and then get a red pickup? You guys know I'm all for aesthetics. It's just the way my brain works. I love matchy and aesthetics. Right now it definitely looks like more of a sleeper because it's got that off-colored Bill Lawrence USA X500XL, by the way, the original Jupiter rail, the original Dimebucker. And I'm not saying that Jupiter rail is like the Dimebucker or like this, but it's dual rail, and we know that Wes Hoke is a big fan of both the L500XL and the Dimebucker. So who knows, maybe there was something, but this was one of the original dual rails, and this thing was made to combat active pickups. It's amazing, guys. It might still be one of the most affordable pickups in the universe right now. You can get it brand new for still like under $100 US. I think these are still like $80 or $75 US, maybe at most $100 US. And this pickup is awesome. It is. It's not just awesome for metal, it's awesome for all types of stuff. So check it out. Oh, sorry. This was the American Standards series. It was the lowest. I can't remember if it was the Highway. I don't think it was the Highway 1. All right, let's get going on this tone. So I'm not going to go with the grind. I kind of would prefer over here and do something here instead. I don't need the Zool because I've got all the noise suppression I need right now. So you guys can help me choose the aesthetics, the future aesthetics of this guitar. Do I want to just get a blood splattered white pickup because he's kind of keen of maybe doing something like that because he likes his aesthetics? Go and check out Aurora Tone pickups, by the way. My Colossus is finally complete. He's a one-man operation. He's got a bit of a queue. My Colossus, and with it's black and yellow. I cannot wait for it. Also, I can't wait for it. So if you want to choose the future aesthetics of this guitar, you can either pick a blood splattered white pickguard with a red pickup, or we can go with a red pickguard, which is less likely because matching is a pickguard, and this color red has been I don't know. So I think the way I might want to go with it is stick with this pickguard and then just go with a blood splattered white pickup. That's a possibility as well. Could be a lot of fun. I love aesthetics in guitars. I just do. It's just who I am at this point. All right, so we're just chilling out with Nameless to start the day. And I'm just kind of farting around with a few different things. And I don't really need that as much as I'm going to need this. Let's see. Blood splattered pickup guide. You meaning the pick guard? We've had this talk. We have this conversation this week. There are so many different names for a pick guard. I call it a pick guard. Some other people call it a scratch plate. And then I'm hearing it called a pickup guide. Interesting. Black relict. What do you mean by black relict? Like a relict black pickup? Interesting idea. Yeah, man, see? Such a docile looking guitar. And although I don't think I have the pickup set exactly correct just yet, there's going to be, I just installed this, so maybe a little bit of tweaking. All right, we're going to go over a few. I'm going to be going plug-in to plug-in as well today, folks, just to try and get a good vibe on what this is giving me. So, let's check this out. So now if you want to get a lot of it out of your amp knobs, just turn off the cabinet. You could also turn off the pedal if you want. And add your own, like in this case, I'm going to do with the green, with the Dead Horse. And I'll add my own cabinet with my standard EGA 414. Let's see what we got now. It's very dark, by the way. So we're going to need a little bit, maybe here, we'll go up here and kick in some of the tone. Now we need some more guitar volume as well, now that I've got my tone. A little out of tune, brand new strings. Forgive me. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting the good. That was a rookie rake there. That's why. Little out of tune. All right. So far, so good. I can feel it resisting the B flat a little bit. I can just feel it. And I can also feel wanting to take this tuner and throw it out the window. I can't wait. As soon as I go out to walk to the music store, I'm going to take this tuner and take the battery out of it. And I'm going to kick this motherfucker across the street into a snowbank. That's what I'm not even kidding you. You ever seen Clerks? You ever seen Clerks 2? Where he takes the drink cup and he throws the drink cup up in the air and he punts it like a fucking football and he goes, "Get the fuck out of here!" That's what I'm going to do to the tuner. Walk out in the middle of the street. We just had a blizzard last night. I'm going to kick this motherfucker as far as I can kick it. That's what I'm going to do to it. It has come time. You might be thinking, he's e-littering. That's technology. You're going to litter. Yeah, I'll pick it up in the spring, bro. I promise you, I'll watch where it goes, and I will pick it up in the spring. You have my word. Now, the other cool thing about amp knobs, the fucking knobs. They hate it when I call it the fucking knobs. Anyways, I'm going to test out some impulse responses today, gifted to me by Atlas Cabinets. The Atlas Guitar Collection's got the 612, and it's got the ported OS 412. But you know what? Will Putney likes the 612. We're going to try out the 612. These, I don't know. We're just going to try these out. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Thanks to Elmiris for turning me on to these, by the way. Elmiris, I went to Atlas Cabinets, and they were nice enough to be like, yeah, man, we would love for you to try these out. And I also talked to them about potentially licensing their impulse responses for potential future plugins, in which they didn't seem to have, they hadn't really thought about it yet. But I'm guessing that's something you could see in the future. Their cabinets are becoming very popular, and they were the impulse responses were shot in a professional. It wasn't just that these guys were like, hey, let's shoot some impulses in the back. We're going to go into the back den with a couple of mics and throw these together. Because we all know there is a couple of cabinet producers out there that probably shot things just in a bit of a willy-nilly and threw the cabs out for the impulses out for free or whatever it is, just to kind of benefit the brand. No. Not to say that that's a bad way of doing things, because there are plenty of homebrew IRs out there that kick ass. I have one that Ola Englund made on that one video that he did. He made an impulse response in like 2.5 seconds, and it turned out to be a really handy impulse response that I kept in my collection. So that being said, these guys went a little further and actually went to a local studio and had these made and professionally by, you know, folks that know exactly what they're doing in a really controlled atmosphere with high-priced mics and everything else. There aren't a ton of files per pack, but there are enough that you're going to get some fun mixes and just kind of hang out. You can also blend these together, which we'll try doing right now. Okay, we're going to go to the 612, and maybe we'll mix in the veterans this time. And we'll just crank the blend on this one, see what happens. Yeah, it's resisting the B flat heavily. So thinking it's just not happy with me. It's just not. It seemed like the intonation was fine, but I'm noticing that maybe it's not. And gosh, this tuner, I'm going to kick it. It's going to go far. Not everything is G sharp. It's like, I'm sorry, I've just been dropped so many times. I mean, you drop somebody on their head enough times, they're probably going to start thinking everything is a G or a G sharp too. Oh, man. Good day today. Starting out Sunday in style. Gonna head over to the music store, grab some strings and some other stuff. Very nice people over there. I do enjoy talking with them from time to time as well. Let's switch over from one amp knob to the other. Let's also do basically the same thing we did there. I love the amp knobs for testing out, new impulse responses and pedals. It's easy because you know what the amp is giving you. That's very dark. That's quite dark on this one. So what can we do about that? Well, there's not much we can do about it at this point. Let's see let's play around. Yeah, it's very, very, very dark. That's okay. We're okay with dark because then this one we can just reel it over here. Yeah. So this thing is like, we're lighting this thing up with some pretty high quality, high gain plugins and some fun things that we're using. And so far, so good. Hi, Freyskin. Hello to Mr. Moonshine. Hello to everyone. Messerecto and everyone that's jumping in. Death Form Archive. Atlas Rocks. I'm immortal, so have to buy them. Prices were... Wow, so the prices on these cabinets are actually, the prices are good too? And man. Let's see what we got here though. I have possibility here. We can do some drop tuning. This might go awry quickly. Let's see what we got here though. No, it's just rebelling. It's like, no man, you gotta quit that right now or I'm gonna just not work for you. Yeah, man. See, is it the intonation? No, it's not. It's just this tuner fucking with me today. Yeah, and the other thing about this set of strings that I've used here is I fucking hate it. It's got a plain fourth. Yeah. It's got a plain G, and when you're playing in heavier tunings, that's just not gonna work. It's really, you can hear the slack in it, blow, blow. So I'll have to find the right gauge of strings to do this in. I'll probably bring it up to B and throw some like 58s or 59s on it. But either way, things are playing good and sounding good. I'm having a good time with this guitar so far. I think finally this guitar has found its purpose for at least a little bit, is being a sleeper scary. I don't like that song at all. I heard Barracuda covered by Brat and Goat Whore, and I wanted to turn it off as fast as I turned it on. I'm a big fan of Goat Whore. Big fan of Goat Whore. Not a big fan of whoever the fuck was singing on the track. Is not my thing. All right, let's go to distant for a couple of minutes. I know that'll excite most people because this has been an extraordinarily well-received plugin. We're going to see what we can do with it here today. Sounds good so far today. Chug, chug, chug. I'm not sure that this guitar is sounding as great as it usually can, well, as it has been so far, but it's sounding decent. I still think I've got some work to do on the pickup. Man, also, again, we talked about briefly about the Seymour Duncan custom shop, and now that, and again, I'm not going to talk politics in here. That's illegal. We don't want that at all, ever. But I will note that when another country that I get a lot of my goods from is putting 25% tariffs on things, it becomes tougher to purchase things from that country. And let's be honest, a lot of things that us musicians use is made in the United States. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be buying any pickups for a while. Just get it all out of my system. In the last few weeks, I've purchased too many pickups. Well, I'm not going to say I've purchased too many. I just definitely knew I had a few instruments that I was not playing because I just didn't like how I had it set up with anything, whether it was something I was trying or otherwise. So I just made some improvements to certain instruments, but I'll be doing a lot less of that in the near future, unless I can find things used and Canadian, and be trying a lot of Aurora Tone stuff in the new year, all Canadian made, so that won't be a problem. And I'm also going to be trying some stuff that's going to be Czech made from a couple of different, well, just one company, I think, but that's still in the building section. I decided for the, we were talking the other day about the JA baritone and what I was going to do with it. I think I had a bit of an epiphany. I'm going to go with high-powered, noiseless P90s that are a direct drop-in because I don't want to remove any material. So if you guys have any suggestions on high-powered and realistically priced, because I asked this the other day and some people were recommending like bare knuckle and stuff. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do bare knuckle. I'm gonna ask Aurora Tone first if he can make me a custom set of noiseless P90s that'll crush for this JA baritone. So I think finding something that's a direct replacement would be a little easier. I really don't want to route anything. I don't want to route anything. And that guitar looks like it would be an absolute pain in the butt to do any work to. So Pedro, this is a Bill Lawrence USA X500XL. And yeah, it was the dime bag pickup, kind of. But that's really nothing to do with it. Honestly, it's one of the greatest pickups ever made because it's capable of doing lots of different things. You can use it to play rock, hair metal, southern rock. You can use it to play stoner rock, doom, sludge, whatever you want. Metal, extreme metal, death metal, hardcore. Doesn't really matter. It can do that. It can do it all. It's maybe one of the most underrated pickups in the world today, and I'll tell you why that is. Because there are two companies, and if Eddie was here, he could explain the whole thing. But if he did in one stream already a couple different times, we've talked about it. But essentially, Bill Lawrence, currently, Bill Lawrence pickups are being made by two companies, Bill Lawrence USA and then Wild, W-I-L-D. Nothing to do with Zach Wild, but W-I-L-D-E, some sort of company that also builds them. Bill and Becky or something like that. They are building them. But I don't, those aren't the ones I buy. I buy the ones that are marked Bill Lawrence USA are the ones that I've been buying, and they're great. If you want one of the originals, it's going to cost you about $500. But if you're a tone seeker and you're a tone connoisseur, then go ahead, find one. But it is a wonderful pickup, and I think I'm going to tell you guys exactly why I think it has been extraordinarily underrated. Because when you go to try to fucking buy one from a website, you see a website that looks like it was made on Angel Fire in 2001. These people, I don't understand why someone isn't just smacking them on the head and saying, hey, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, can you guys pay somebody $200, pay somebody in the family $200 to do a WordPress site for you, anything. But no, you got to go to this Bill Lawrence USA website where there's like, it looks straight up like red text on gaudy backgrounds and like, it looks Angel Fire style. I don't need a new website. I built that website for $500 back in 2001. Fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like, I still pay me 9 cents for hosting fees. Angel Fire. It still exists. Ton Guitarra, how are you, sir? Nice to see you. YouTube notification does not work. Again, like, I'm sorry that doesn't work for you, dude. It happens to me too. I don't get I never get notifications that some of my favorite YouTubers. I'm also not getting notifications when we get new subscribers all the time either, so. All right, I want to use this one for a little bit today. So if you guys haven't used Distant yet, what are you waiting for? Here's what I can tell you. A lot of tunes, sorry folks. I haven't used Distant in a little bit. I used it a lot when it came out. And you guys, I can tell you one thing that you guys are about to see. Yeah, G again. Of course, it must be G. No, it's not G. This fucking tuner. You're like, why don't you go to a software tuner just for now? Because I don't want to. I'm being stubborn. Just let me be stubborn. I'm a male in my 40s. This is sort of my MO. Allow me to be stubborn to the point of irritation to everyone around me. I'm noticing my eyesight is definitely changing, though. It sucks. I ain't getting no bifocals or progressives either. I don't want them. I don't want it. I'd rather be that old guy that takes his glasses off and holds something back here. What? What do you mean? I can't see it? Huh? I can't do it. I don't want to be like, look down and get immediately like that drunk feeling. I can't do the progressives, guys. I'll just get cheaters or I'll take my glasses off, whatever. But yeah, we're just moving plug-in to plug-in today. And I'm going to move next to the HK Pure Tone. And I haven't used this one since release. It's so strange that the default tone has verb and delay in it. That's bananas to me. Bananas! This thing is truly a crusher though, folks. Absolute crusher. Lots and lots of beef in here. I do enjoy it. Lots of snarl in this plugin. I'm looking forward to trying it with the JA baritone. I lied about that guitar, by the way. I'm going to be using it again before I mod it. It's just too much fun. Yeah, no, this is definitely more of a tone match for this pickup. Really liking this so far. Okay, let's make sure we get a nice tone match here. Yeah. See, like that's that fucking G string. I don't want it. So there's a couple things I definitely want to make sure that I do to this guitar eventually, but right now I'm just enjoying what's happening. I mean, this is fun. I like having this sleeper guitar. I like that theory. Again, it's embarrassing to me. If you're one of the YouTubers or influencers that told a certain developer that, well, or certain folks that this could not do metal, you might not like it. I've definitely heard some ups and downs. I mean, we even have a couple of folks on our team that weren't a huge fan of the Hughes and Kettner, and I that is fine. If you don't like the tone, that's tone is totally subjective to the ears. And there are plenty of plugins that I don't necessarily enjoy that other people do, and that's okay because we're all different folks, right? But to go and say that a plugin just can't do a certain thing that is more than capable of is just looks like there's no one on the team that thinks this can't do metal. There are definitely a couple folks on our team that just don't necessarily really like the plugin or what it offers, but they're not saying it can't metal. Now, to say something can't do something when it obviously can do that thing just makes the influencer or the content creator look silly. It makes it look like you didn't even give it a shot. It didn't, you didn't spend more than 4 seconds with it before rendering some sort of, I'm just going to get this out of the way so I can get more free stuff from the developer and pump this demo out. Whereas I had a team member, again, it was a team member that was going to create some content with me, just simply come to me and say, hey, listen, man, I'm not really into this plugin. And I don't really want to do a video for it because I think that would be misleading to my followers. Oof, did I ever want to give him a hug, because I wish there were more content creators like that out there that got something they didn't like or got something that they weren't totally fond of, or even something that was actually good but just didn't fit their personal style. Yes, I love when they turn down work. Don't just do content because someone's fucking paying you to, or because you want to keep the plugin gravy train of free shit going. Just have an honest conversation with the developer and say, listen, I really appreciate you giving me this plugin and it is really cool. It's just not for me and I don't think I can do a video, but I'm really looking forward to more of an opportunity in the future to be able to turn something out for you. Hopefully we can connect on the next run. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. That is so admirable. But no, in this case, we all know, we've seen demos for stuff where we know someone was just farting it up for to keep the lights on, and there's no judgment there because we all got to work and the hustle's real sometimes. But I don't know, man. I just respect content creators and influencers a lot more when they won't support something because they don't want to hustle their small or large or medium-sized subscribers. Like they want to do that. So more power to you out there if that's like you. I'm actually gonna lower this a tiny bit more and see if maybe that's even better. Yeah, and indeed it is a little bit more clear. I love the growl of this cabinet. This, of course, being the Hughes & Kettner TC412 Rock Driver 60. That whole thing's your name, is it? Wow, this cabinet fucking rips. It really does. It's a crusher of a cabinet. Nope. So yeah, it's definitely like it's not a ton of gain, but if you're quad tracking guitars, this is definitely something you might want to look into, because this plugin has that right amount of gain where if you were to quad track with this, it would sound like two of the most massive tracks of guitar possible. So if you're out there and you're just kind of digging on whether you are or not digging on this plugin, I can promise you that trying it will not hurt you. If you're more of a gent player or more of a modern metal player, this thing here, this filter with this tight feature is going to be your bag. Check it out. So this is, I'm gonna turn the screamer off for a second just so we can really hear. This is without anything. So I kick this on and turn this tight up, and immediately it's giving me those gent vibes. Take some of the harsh away. Perfect. Now I'm going to give it a little bit more stones with this right here, but I'm going to be careful. I'm going to bring the level back, and that tone's going to stay. Be careful with the tone. It's already giving me that really heavy, edgy mid-range, so I want to be careful with the tone knob. That drive is going to help me with a little more saturation. Let's see where we're at. Too much tone. Bring that back to about halfway. Now, if you record 4 tracks of that, and again, you're going to probably, if you notice here, I've got the mids on the actual amp way back. So you could get way more aggressive with the mids if you were so inclined. Well, in this case, we're really not inclined because I don't really want to make it sound bad. That's even too much. That's too fight and bite for my like. I'm going to wheel this tone back even more. I'm going to bring the tight back a little more as well. And then I got to be careful with how much I use up there. They have more gain than what they're modeling. That really depends. If you're talking about the tube screamer, for example, it's a free tube screamer. If you want to talk about that the free tube screamer, the 808, that's based on a hot modded tube screamer, a noisy, cranky, grouchy, analog piece of gear. And that thing is definitely going to, as soon as you turn it on, even with the drive knob all the way down, it already, I would suggest being quite careful with that one. I don't know. I mean, I found that, like, I think the amount of gain is, I mean, I've been working with Nambrini a long time, and I think the amount of gain is kind of right in there somewhere. I mean, every developer is going to have their own way of looking at things and tweaking things as well. You never know. But I'd be definitely curious if you have a particular amp a particular amp sim that has like that going on. I would love to discuss it though. One of the major mistakes that I thought that Nambrini Audio made was with the 8180 when it was first released. There was some major issues with the low end, and everybody knew it. And eventually, those issues were fixed. And when it was re-released, and it also came out with the tube variation, the EL34 was added to it to give it that 6534 stealth 34 kind of vibe to it. And I kind of wish that he would do that with his preamp plugins as well, because anything that involves where you can tell it's like the preamp and he's offering the power amp, I would really think it would be really cool, because when you buy a preamp, you're going to go and buy a power amp in whichever tube style or solid state or whatever. I've suggested to Nambrini Audio a number of times that if you're in that whole preamp series, there should be a 6L6 EL34 switch on the power section. That would give a lot of users a lot more flexibility. Just my own personal opinion, though. That's so much. I'm not into that type of that level of mids. I'm gonna try to control a little bit more. There we go. sounds pretty close. That's really... That's, wow. Wowzers. All right. Yes, the Nembredio TS808 is really loud. It is. It's very aggressive. That is an aggressive tube screamer. John Brown just made another video with free IR. Really like his IRs. You should try it. I've heard that guy has a lot of gear, man. I'm always up to try a new IR. Can you email it to me? Anybody that has an IR I should try, feel free to email it to me. The ampsimuniverse@gmail.com. I must make a very specific stipulation with that, though. Please do not send me anything that you paid for. That's happened to me in the past many times, that people are like, man, Mike, check out my favorite IR. And they'll send me like something from like Ownhammer or like something from like something they paid for. Anything that you paid for cannot be shared that way. And well, I mean, you know, it technically can, but it's illegal. Essentially, that is pirating. So it's a slippery slope there. If it's free, share everything all day and all night and all through the heavens. And also, if it's free, make sure you want free IRs. Make sure you grab the old school 7 Deadly Sins IR pack. That thing is badass. But anyways, if you want to show me your favorite IRs, free IRs or homemade IRs, I have 2 stipulations. Make sure you don't send me anything that you paid for, because you could literally, that could ruin an influencer, or I'm not an influencer. That could ruin a YouTuber's, anybody that's out there trying to make content and that got a relationship of positive relationships with, and their good reputation in the industry. Like you're a good flow going on. Anybody like that, you could really screw them over as well. Like, it wouldn't be above somebody that I didn't know to send me a file that they paid for, have me accept it and say, thanks, man, I'm going to try this out in an email. All they've got to do is take all those emails, put them together, and send them to that developer. And suddenly I've got some questions to answer as to why I'm accepting stuff that violates the user agreement. So in any event, please do send me any homemade IRs. My second stipulation is, if I don't like it, please don't hold it against me. If you're sending me something for review, just understand that the team and I are just hardwired to being as honest as we can be. And that's not always easy to hear, especially when some developers, younger developers and newer developers, they live inside this bubble of yes people. Their friends and their their friends and the people that have been with them since the beginning, the people that have been beta testing for them, you know, people they've met on the internet, and people that are surrounding them. But once they crawl out of that bubble, life can get kind of difficult. Okay, this is me just cutting it straight. Okay, once you step outside, oh yeah, you should start your own company. These plugins are great. And then you start your own company, you start doing things, and all these yes people that are around you, that are yesing you, aren't necessarily going to be as helpful as the people outside of that bubble. That's when the shit really hits the fan. And for some folks, I can remember one company in particular. I'm not going to name drop the company because I just haven't worked with them since. They sent me their flagship first plugin, and I really did not like it. Tried to be as professional as I possibly could and sent a lot of really good suggestions back in the other direction. I gave them my review, it was very professional. When I give a review, if I think something bad about a plugin, guys, I never actually just like fire it out there to the public. I always go to the developer first and say, this is what I think about the plugin. I don't really want to go public with this. I would rather kind of work with you to make this plugin better. And some developers are like, the fuck is this asshole think he is? This is my work. Why would this I don't know you. Jesus, this guy is a jerk. And that is literally what they thought about me. And turns out everybody else that I knew also felt the same way about this company's plugins. So if you're out there, when you get outside that bubble, be prepared. If you're out there and you're looking to start your own company, be prepared for people outside of that bubble, about your starter and your launching bubble. be very prepared for people outside of that bubble that don't know you and have not been with you from the start and have not supported you from the start, have not tested you, don't follow your social media, have not followed it since day one, are not part of any founders club. Those people can be assholes. They can, and that's okay. There are a lot of people out there that don't like this channel very much, and that's okay too. You don't have to not everybody has to like what you do for you to be able to live your life, and that's okay. But that being said, I'll always try to be constructive when working with developers to make sure that everybody is growing from the process. It could be also that something you don't like, and this has also happened to me in the past where I misread something, miscommunicated something, or just wasn't using the product. I was confused on how the product was going to work. Went to the developer, said, I didn't really like this or this. And the developer came back to me saying, well, did you use it like this or like this? And I'd be like, well, I did this. They're like, oh, well, you should have done it like that. Try it like that and let me know how you feel. Then you go back and you try it. You go, holy shit, I was wrong. Oh, back to the developer. I'm an idiot. Thank you so much for clarifying. You know what I mean? And so that's just is what it is, guys. I love having these talks with you guys, and I hope you guys don't mind these types of talks, because really it's a hard world out there in the plugin industry. It's not an easy industry to be part of by any means at all. At this point, you're getting into a waterfall. This is no longer a fast-moving stream in the AmpSim universe, the AmpSim market and industry. The plugin industry is no longer a slow and calm-moving stream that you can jump into with, know-how and get some shit done. Now you're jumping into a waterfall, and that you're jumping into the rapids, and inside those rapids is there's a bunch of piranhas in there too. And so good luck. It's a tough universe to jump into, but there are new companies coming out all the time, every year, that are doing something new and are doing something truthfully great. Unfortunately, we also have companies coming in every year that are looking to do things with a bit of a shortcut and rounded corners and just trying to make a buck. And unfortunately, and they're always going to get the people that are inside that bubble are always going to stick up for that particular new developer online. It becomes a very interesting dynamic. So just, understand what you're looking at out there and just use your own ears, use your own feel, and just download what is available for free trials. If the company does not have free trials, you don't want anything from that company until they do. That's it. That's as simple as I can put it as far as free trials goes. This is like badass. Mesa, I try and sound bad like 90s Nintendo games. Maybe it was me, but I can't use any amp that sounds good. Any thoughts on Revolver? Revolver is... Do you want to talk about Revolver? Okay. Let's talk about Revolver. Revolver is like... Revolver is like that really hot actor or actress from the late 90s or like early to mid 90s that is still in 2024, 25, continuing to try and pull off the same roles and the same look and all the same stuff, but like the public is kind of looking at them going, geez, that's kind of sad. I wish they would just settle into their age and do something different, I'm not going to pick specifics, but you know exactly what I'm trying to say. Revolver has never changed. Revolver used to be when in its infancy, which is, we're talking more than 10 years ago. In its infancy, it was like, 15? This is a 15-year-old plugin. And I'm always preaching, guys, that age does not matter if it's coded well. If it's coded really well and it's put together really well, then it should be able to, with at least some modern upgrades like new IRs and some other things, the coding of the amps and the pedals if it's true and it's been brought forward, and ported over, properly, everything is probably fine. But in this case, Revolver just wasn't very good. It had lots of good ideas. They had some cool gear in there. It just wasn't very good. And the cabinets were the worst part. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a bit of a story. The fellow from Revolver, I can't remember what the company's name is. It ASM or AMR? Or what was the company that bought Revolver from PV and then sold it to Headrush? I can't remember the company's name. I believe it was AMR. They came to me through a friend of mine, and a friend of mine had jogged me up and vouched for me and said, listen, I know this guy that really knows his amp sim stuff, and him and his buddies, they have this little team. This was when I was doing honest amp sim reviews, and this was pre-Amp Sim Universe, and we talked to the guys at... I can't remember the guy's name now, and but I could go back and get some emails and then look through and find out. But anyhow, this particular person and I were in communication. He reached out to me and offered to pay me to help him revamp Revolver, and he was going to pay myself and another amp sim kind of expert. I'm not going to bring him up because we'll just call him John. And we were going to go at it together. He was going to pay us. He said, we're going to pay you guys to come in and help us as product. You're going to help us assess the market, what it is now, and help us make Revolver something different. So I collaborated with this person, with John. And we came up with like this big list of things that they needed to do to Revolver to bring it into the new era and have it compete. We felt really strong about this. Like it could have done really well. We put it through its paces. We put lots of new impulse responses in front of it. It turned out the big problem was the cab section was fucking horrible and needed to go. Completely gutted. Gotta go. Get the fuck out of here. It's your garbage. It's the worst part of that whole plugin. And the graphics were tired. They were not. So the graphics needed to be redone. They needed to completely overhaul the cab section. They needed to work a little bit on, the amps didn't sound bad. And the pedals didn't sound bad. And we laid out a plan that wasn't even going to be that expensive. And get the graphics redone and get the new cab section in there. Get some signature stuff happening in here. We'll talk to some artists for you. And if you get, again, this is going back a ways now when they sold the company. So basically what happened after that was he came back to us and said, okay, do you have it? What do you have? This was a month in advance to when he said he wanted it. The information it was a month plus in advance. And we said we weren't quite ready, but we'll send you what we have. And we sent over what we had, and the guy basically, he didn't respond. Nothing. So we're going back and forth. Like, has he responded to you? No. Has he responded to you? No, nothing. Nothing for like 2 weeks. And we're like, okay. So then we both emailed this guy and said, okay, well, hey, we're just wondering what you felt about it. He says, yeah, we're going in another direction. And then we said, sorry? He said, yeah, well, we're going to go in a different direction. We like the idea of, we connected with somebody at Developer X, and they said that this is how we should do it. And the idea they had was adding some sort of profiling technology. This is when they added the profile stuff. Then the only upgrade they made was adding this horrible cardboardy plastic sounding profile software. That is all they did. They spent all the money they were going to use to upscale the plugin and make it compete. And their answer was putting in a fucking shitty garbage profiler. Then a little while after, the plugin obviously did not sell. It didn't go anywhere. It was trash, garbage. In comparison to what is happening on the market right now, there are plugins out there for free that absolutely destroy Revolver like a beer can, like a strong man crushing a beer can. That's my opinion on Revolver. They sold it to Headrush. I don't know I don't know anything about that. I had given up on it long, but the problem was we had already spent a fucking month working on the upgrade and got paid $0.00. And that was the end of that. So, yeah, that was, it is what it is. I don't like Revolver. I would never use it again. And I'm not biased or prejudiced against the company by any means. If Head Rush called me up tomorrow and said, hey, would you like to help us revamp Revolver? I would say, fuck yes, I would do that. And, but I would ask to be paid up at least half up front. But anyways, I hope that story gets back to, I think it was the ASM or AMR, ASM, AARM, whatever the company was called. Fuck that guy. And if you're ever doing work in the industry, get a contract. And I didn't. So that was my own stupidity. Let's play some guitar again. I want to play some guitar. So I'm going to turn this cab off again. Then I'm going to use my cabs again. That's a weird phasing thing going on there. Is that phasing? Nope, it's not. It's just very different sounding files. All right, I'm going to go back to the 414 just for a bit. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's Sunday. I'm having a fucking awesome start to my day. Who wouldn't like to start their day with this shredder of also we'll call it a crusher of a sleeper guitar? I'm pretty happy today. I'm pretty darn happy. I'm gonna have a nice day with the missus here. I'm gonna come back this afternoon for probably something else. I don't know what I'm gonna do this afternoon. We'll see what we get into. All right, let's see what we got. So, this is the BDH fucking knobs. The amp knob. And if you don't say knob like you're from Boston, you're missing out. You are 100% missing out on the fun. To me, this sounds like the blue channel. I could be wrong, but it does sound more like the blue channel than the red channel. That's what I always wondered. What I always wanted from the amp knob collection was to, I know the idea is supposed to be specific or simplistic and all this and that, but you know what? You know what would make this go a lot, these amp sims go a lot further? If they added the green/blue channel. And just one switch, that wouldn't be much, depending on how they're building them. And I know the deal with these, and I know that the theory that, well, some folks once had that these were just a profile in a box with a couple knobs on it is incorrect. 100% false. Never happened. You know, like that Riker thing when he was doing that fun show and you look on the, yeah, never happened. This thing is actually, these things are modeled legit, and they're fun. I mean, I don't know, depending on the price, depending on how you view it. I have not tried the Trivium stuff, but a lot of people keep telling me that the Trivium plugins from the One Knob and the Amp Knob series are solid. So in the comments, if you've tried the Trivium additions to this set, what do you guys think of them? Is it rad? Are they rad? Are they fun? Are they cool? I think they might be, because I think one of them is designed by, or modeled from an Eden. I'm not sure of that though, but it looks like they're kind of fun. I have not tried Guitar Rig 6. I gave up on Guitar Rig years ago. The last I used Guitar Rig is when I was using the only time I ever really, really enjoyed Guitar Rig is when they had the Rammstein Rammfire. And it was the Rammfeuer, I think it would be, right? Fire in is foyer. Is that right? Maybe? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that was the last I used it. That actually sounded really good. And that was the best, I think, guitar rig ever sounded. I tried I tried 5, and it was like I had never left. It was like I tried guitar rigs 1, 2, and 3. And I purchased 1, 2, and 3. And then I tried the trial versions leading up to that. I just sort of gave up on them. Is it good? Are they? Yeah. Caleb Wayne, I have the 5150 knobs, the recto one, the bass knob. Not too impressed with any of them. I feel like there needs to be a better boost and better IRs. I agree that, but the thing is, here's what I think. I think that having just a matched cab when you have IRs for sale at your company, I thought that was the only thing that I looked at it as in, like, really? You couldn't find like an option where like you have the matched cab and you throw in, say, I don't know, 5 to 10 of your favorite options from the like your varying packs. I always thought that could be the better way to do it. The boost, I thought could be, I think the boost is wired. It's set a little bit pedestrian, but I think that's to be said with any of these. They have to kind of choose the settings and rip the knobs off, right? In which they've done, and not everyone's going to like those settings. That being said, I find that it blends really well with various pedal plugins. All of the amp knobs perform very well with any IRs. Like, you want to test IRs, these are really good ways to do it. And you can use either their loader or your own with Succession. And I think it's really up to you. I didn't really like them when they first came out. I would admit it fully. I was like, what is this nonsense? I'm not going to pay this much money for this when I could go and buy that instead. But realistically, I like them. I kind of like them a lot. The BDH3 is not my favorite, though. It's funny because that's my favorite of these amps that they've modeled here, but that was not my favorite of the bunch. My favorite of the bunch is the 6606. I also like the 5169. Fantastic. So today, what have we learned today in this stream? What I've learned today in this stream is that this guitar is a lot of fun, and making yourself a sleeper guitar is also kind of a fun concept. It's like even was said earlier, it's like, that's such a docile looking instrument that looks, it looks like a guitar that could just be like any local marketplace has a Strat that looks similar to this on right now, or any local pawn shop, right? There's always going to be a Strat that looks like similar to this. Again, it's a bit misleading to have these pickups removed because it does look a little bit less of a sleeper. That'd be like seeing if you guys are not familiar, there's actually a really good series on Netflix about sleeper cars. And if you're not sure what a sleeper car is, that means a car that looks like it's a regular ass grocery getter, or it looks like it's a goddamn pile of shit. One of the two. It's either it looks like completely normal vehicle, or it looks like a garbage mobile. And yet it's fast and like real fast and can do things that those cars you wouldn't expect, right? So that's the idea behind a sleeper guitar, is that you look at it and say, that's not gonna go. Oh, that was embarrassing. Grandpa's guitars. You can really hear the tone. Let's really lean into this skit here, okay, folks? I imagine it as well, like you're trying somebody out in your band and they show up with like this Strat. You're like, I'm not really sure about this. But then he turns the guitar just a little bit to the left, and you can notice the 12 through 21 has been scalloped. Less of a sleeper. I know what's going on here. You're going to do some shredding, sir. You know what I mean? I actually had that happen to me once, where a guy that we jammed with brought just like a regular ass. It wasn't a Strat though. It was an Ibanez that he had scalloped. It's just an old RG. It was like primer painted as well, like hella sleeper guitar. He had like the bridge was blocked. The locking nut was removed for a regular nut. You know, it was like a hurt bag looking guitar. But then from the left, I just noticed that the fretboard, the maple, the fingerboard had been scalloped. And at that moment, I'm like, this guy's going to shred, isn't he? Yep, sure enough. The dude was shredding bananas. So yeah, the bass knob is not my favorite. Yeah, there are a lot, though, to be fair. Caleb, to be fair, there are a lot of plugins out there that sound really, really good when you're playing by yourself. And then as soon as you try to use them in a mix, you start asking some questions because they disappear. And that's where things get a little finicky. That's why with something like the amp knob, if you notice it's not popping through a mix, I'm just using it as an example because I haven't had that experience with the amp knob. But I'm just saying that if it wasn't poking through the way I wanted it to poke through, I would just switch the IR, switch the cabinet, switch the IR, and just leave it the way it is. You're probably gonna, and then find something that cuts in the way you like. Something like this, in my opinion, the value becomes the fact that it is simple and you can use it with so many different IRs to make a billion different sounds. I just wish the price point on these was just a tiny bit less. Then I could really, really get behind them. In the case of the Trivium ones, the Trivium products, those are going to be naturally a tiny bit pricier because of the royalties and the percentage and the cut that needs to be kind of going back and forth. But everybody needs to get paid, right? So the price has to go up a little tiny bit. Yeah. You have your guitar scallops? Nice. I tried one once, but I was not skilled enough to play it. I was bending everything. I don't have a light enough touch, so I was bending everything sharp. And it was just felt super weird to me. And you have to have kind of a different touch, which is why I don't understand how Yngwie Malmsteen does it, because that dude's got hands of fucking iron, but he's also got a really soft touch. You can see when he really leans into a bend, that homie's got fucking strength in those fingers. But then otherwise, you have to be really, really light. You have to play with really light touch on, man, this singer in the background right now is driving me fucking bananas. All right, this sounds... Let's not go here either. That sounds fantastic. All right, guys, so I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to come back probably sometime this afternoon. I don't know what time it's going to be. I've got to go get some strings. I'm going to probably come back, and I think I'm going to do something that sounds kind of hair metal-y this afternoon. So if you guys are interested in something like hair metal-ish, drop in. That's what we'll be doing. We're going to be doing some like old hair metal-ish type amps. Maybe the Randall Solidus, some old Marshalls, stuff like that. We're going to be talking about some hair metal and classic metal, kind of like, even going as far as saying stuff like maybe like Ozzy. Stuff we'll go with 80s tones. Okay, so 80s tones will be the next theme. I'm going to come back in here with, we'll talk about that. I'm going to come back in here armed with a super distortion and talk about a sort of a hair metal mod project that I've got going on way down the pipe. And we'll talk about that then. And so you guys could probably plan for that around 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be back. And maybe we can do a little giveaway. I'm not opposed to a little giveaway today. Maybe we'll do a little giveaway. Sound good, everyone? Okay, sounds good. And I will talk to you guys around 1:00. Thank you so much for being here. In the meantime, my challenge for you guys is to go and just look up pickups. Find a pickup builder that you've never heard of before. I'll give you one. Railhammer. If you've never heard of Railhammer before, go and check out everything they've got to offer, guys. I'll be getting my hands on the Billy Corgan Z1 set here in about a week or so, and I'm going to throw it into my old Studio Lord, and we're going to see if we can make some fun sounds with those things. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what to expect. But I'm interested. So find a pickup winder that you've never heard of and go check out their stuff. Always check out Aurora Tone. Prices are great. Prices are terrific. And the pickups are awesome. They look unbelievable. I cannot wait to get my hands on all the stuff that's coming along. Thank you so much again for being here. And I'll see you guys a little bit later on. Cheers.